Hi heroes, I'm Rachel Hernandez. I'm the communications manager here at VetComm, and thanks to our partnership with TheCivDiv, we're here to connect you with his latest videos. Making false statements to get a Purple Heart and VA disability benefits? You hate to hear that stories like these exist, but they happen, and that's what happened with Marine veteran Paul John Hebert, who pleaded guilty to this recently. He falsely claimed that he was injured by an IED in Iraq in 1991, and he received hundreds of thousands of dollars in disability benefits. TheCivDiv talks about this in one of his latest videos. Here he is with more.
This one hurts me personally because it was a Marine who has committed fraud, and this led to a fraudulent VA disability check every single month. And not only this, this Marine pleaded with his congressman for a Purple Heart after suffering from this alleged TBI that stemmed from an IED. What we're going to do is, as always, look at the attorney's office press release on what went down. And then this time we find more to the story in an article by the New York Post that gives us more of the reason as to why and how he lied about this incident that led to this Purple Heart, that led to getting about $344,000 from the VA. So here we go. Here's the press release from the attorney's office. I'm not going to read this whole thing here. We'll just read the nuts and bolts because I really want to look at this, why he did it. Defendant also obtained more than $344,000 in Veterans Affairs disability benefits by falsely claiming to have been injured by an IED. Now, my guess as to why this is a low number, one, we're looking at a lot of years here, assuming he got disability over the last, 5, 6-ish years within 10, then sure, that makes sense. That makes sense for 100% P&T. Assuming he's been getting disability for 20 plus years, it could have been just whatever disability stemmed from this incident that he was claiming. So that we don't know for sure. But a former United States Marine pleaded guilty today in federal court in Springfield, Massachusetts, to submitting a false Purple Heart application to the United States Marine Corps through his local congressman. Paul John Hebert, 54, of Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, pleaded guilty to one count of making false statements. U.S. District Court Judge Mark G. Mastroianni butchered that one. Scheduled sentencing for June 17th. In September 2023, Hebert was indicted by a federal grand jury. And then we'll read this and then go to the nuts and bolts here, okay? Military veterans deserve the respect of every citizen for their service to our country. Veterans know well that the Purple Heart honors those brave service members who were injured or killed in the line of duty. Mr. Hebert knew that he did not deserve this widely recognized and respected award, but that did not stop him from lying about a traumatic brain injury and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in disability benefits intended to take care of veterans truly in need, said this U.S. Attorney Leah Foley. Claiming valor for a false injury is an affront to all the members of the military who serve our country with courage and honor. Yeah. Bad news bears over here. Anyways, so that sucks. Okay. What I want to do is get into the, what's actually going on here. All right. Marine vet accused of stealing more than $344,000 in benefits, lied on Purple Heart application. All right. This is pretty much copy pasted from what we just read. So Hebert served in the Marines on active duty between 89 and 93 and in the reserves from 93 to 95. Hearing IED and TBI, I immediately think of Afghan 01 at the earliest, and I'm not sure about IEDs in Afghan at that time, but definitely Iraq 03, 04, 05. Maybe Afghan in like 05, 06, 07. I'm not sure about that one. But that's where my mind goes to. I can tell you right now, it's definitely not the Gulf War. Shield Storm. That's definitely not it. Anyways, there's more to the story. Okay, so Hebert also submitted an application to his local congressman for the Purple Heart for an IED during a deployment to Iraq following the end of the Gulf War. So right there in 91 is what he's saying. He not only stole tens of thousands of dollars in disability benefits that are supposed to help veterans in need, Oh, we got that one. We got that one. Nope. Okay, here we go. Why did he do it? Let me zoom in here. I just needed to feel important. I started feeling important and feeling good about myself, and I did not see or know a way to get out, Herbert told the outlet in 2022. I know I hurt a lot of people that trusted me and cared about me and everything else. The Upper Pioneer Valley Veteran Services started investigating a report of Herbert's false claims in the fall of 2021, according to the outlet. Now, this is how it came to light. The service was first tipped off about Herbert's fraudulent claims after the deputy director of the organization, Christopher DeMars, attended an event where the alleged stolen valor veteran spoke of his time in Iraq to fellow veterans. Herbert claimed to have survived a deadly IED attack in northern Iraq while conducting military operations with British Royal Marines to defend fleeing Kurdish refugees following the end of the Persian Gulf War. He claimed British service members were killed during the attack. IEDs were not a thing until Afghan and Iraq, DeMar said. Herbert later told the outlet there was no IED explosion and no Royal Marines were killed. Herbert's account of the attack was also not documented in his DD-214, because it didn't happen, a document of release or discharge, according to, Herbert admitted to using an experience DeMars had shared with him in private about being seriously wounded in Afghanistan, which the alleged fraudster recounted as his own during an interview with the Daily Hampshire Gazette in 2017. So this dude who committed fraud went on the Daily Hampshire Gazette and then told this guy's story. That's what started it all. DeMars, a 27-year U.S. Army veteran who served in both Iraq and Afghan and was awarded 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star with valor, respect to this guy, told Herbert of the time he regained consciousness by hearing a medical helicopter's propellers coming for him after being injured. I told him that effing story and he effing used it, said DeMars. After being caught, Herbert had no choice but to man up. I know I did hurt Chris a lot. I apologize to him sincerely. There we go. That's it. Yeah, man. In my little small community of Marines, there's definitely a few of them that have told other stories of others, which is just wild to me. Nothing on this scale. But every time I do these fraud videos, people ask me, why do I do it? Why am I bringing light to this? It's because veterans are not picture perfect, and veterans do lie. Veterans do submit fraudulent claims. There is a very low, small percentage of that, but it does exist, and we cannot forget that, okay? If you are submitting claims, don't lie about it. Be honest, be open, be vulnerable, but be truthful. That doesn't mean to skirt the tail and lie at all. If you lie, that's committing fraud. You're going to get caught. So be it. All right. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank you very much. Let me know your thoughts on veterans committing fraud on this scale, on a smaller scale, on a much larger scale. Let me know your thoughts on that one.